afternoon to everyone. I'm Susanna Patata, and I'm presenting a study carried out as a part of Advanced Master in GIScience of University of Padua, with the collaboration and contribution of Salvatore Pappalardo from University of Padua and Valeria Tedeschi from GISCE. This study is focusing on how microclimate simulation can support climate-just urban planning for more just cities. So heat waves are becoming more frequent and longer and intense in European cities, especially in dense and built-up areas, amplifying urban heat islands with impact in health, but also in mobility, productivity, and usability of in public and urban spaces. So these factors, together with the fact that the cities are growing very fast and the impact of cities themselves on climate change, make this phenomena one of the most urgent issues for urban planning. So, for example, in Veneto region, where Padua is located, the 2024 was the hottest year recorded since 1955, and the year with the highest number of heat waves compared with the time reference series. But extreme heat is not only a climate issue, is also a social justice issue. In fact, we can observe also in the literature that hottest neighborhoods are the most vulnerable areas in cities. So understanding where are the hottest area is important, but also is very important to understand for whom extreme heat events become critical to design a more just city. So the main question of this study was, how can microclimate simulation support targeted actions in socioeconomically vulnerable areas in Padua? So first, we identify and map hotspots for in a heat wave for a urban scale. The selection of this area is based on the results of a previous study in 2023, as it's shown on the right side of this slide. Then we plan and measure the effects of adaptation and mitigation solution for a selected neighborhood. And then we investigate social dimension, analyzing how extreme heat can affect the thermal comfort through comfort thermal indicators. So the study integrates GIS analysis and tools with MVMet 3D microclimate high-resolution modeling software. So the workflow include the first, the extraction and cleaning of spatial data to create a database model in QGIS. Then we identified in 2024 an off day, a tropical night, and also a typical summer day. And then we create a 3D simulation files and other simulation files to run with MVMet 3.9, microclimate simulation for these 3 selected days, and for these two scenarios and 2 urban scale and neighborhood scale. Then we extracted microclimate parameters and outdoor comfort indicators. Meteorological inputs came from weather station of Portello, which is very close to our neighborhood area of interest. We analyzed June, July, and August data in 2024 to identify an off day, as I said, a tropical night, and a typical summer day for this year. In this study, we decided to focus on a condition of extreme heat event. So we use data of an off day inside the most extreme heat wave in 2024. So the 10th of July 2024 recorded the highest temperature in a heat wave event of 12 days, where maximum temperatures remained well above the 90th percentile of the 30 years series. With the special data, we processed this data to create a database model, and with the plugin Geodata to Envimet, we were able to create a 3D based database model. The use of this plugin allows to optimize process and improve the accuracy of the model, especially for a wide area like this, which is a 5 kilometers square grid. Extracting the first result, the surface temperature for the urban scale at the baseline scenario, we were able to identify hotspots at urban scale. So, for example, zip zone, Fiera district, Stanga commercial area, train station, and city center, which correspond to the most impervious and dense areas in city of Padua. So we overlap these results with socioeconomical and demographic factors and emerge that Stanga and Fiera districts are priority areas for this intervention. So we decided to select the second area of interest at the neighborhood scale, located in the core of Stanga district. This overlap between exposure to extreme heat and the presence of vulnerable factors and vulnerable people is a clear manifestation of climate injustice in city. The output from the baseline scenario at the neighborhood scale highlight that the thermal stress during a heat wave event in the peak of the temperature, so at 4 p.m. of an hot day, the thermal stress was extremely high in the whole area. We can see that both UTCI and PET index values exceeded the comfort threshold, and on the left is shown the mean radiant temperature that reached values above 75 degrees, especially in streets and country yards. And these results highlight a strong need for intervention that provide shed, reduce of the temperature of surfaces, and increase of wind flow, for example. So from these results, because it's heavy, okay. From this consideration, we planned an adaptation and a mitigation scenario with the implementation of green roofs and cool roofs. And then we changed, for example, asphalt and used concrete or dark materials with lighter and cooler materials with higher values of albedo. And then we implemented greening solutions with new trees, especially in parking areas and white streets. The results for this intervention scenario at the same time and day show that the vegetation provides the most consistent cooling effect, with mean radiant temperature reductions up to 24 degrees and UTCI improvements around 6 degrees. But for example, as we can see on the right, in the area where we change the dark materials with cool materials, there is a mixed effect with warming effect in some of these exposed areas, due maybe to the reflection effect of high albedo surfaces during the afternoon. The green roofs have limited effects at the pedestrian and street level, but for sure benefits as building energy performance and runoff management. So in conclusion, we can say that, of course, if vulnerability amplifies impacts of extreme heat events, so targeted mitigation and adaptation strategies can improve fairness in cities. And second, that not all measures perform equally. So, for example, as we've seen, vegetation is essential, while cool materials and roofs require careful analysis. And finally, the main finding that combining microclimate modeling and simulation with socio-demographic analysis provide a powerful decision support tool for equitable climate and urban planning. Thank you.